Hey, you on there, fellas? Seeing the price of Auki lately?
CryptoRobotics is absolutely exploding. Please continue watching for all the alpha required to ejaculate wealth everywhere.
Alrighty boys, for those of you who are new here, welcome to the highest level of production on the internet, Fat Cunt Entertainment. My name is Pistol, and about 4 months ago, I realized that all of my investments were absolute dog shit garbage. I'd basically been living in a crypto cult and nothing I was invested in was any good at all, just complete scams. So I scoured the entire internet and came across 2 projects that I decided to go all in on, which were Auki and peaq. Since investing, boys, I've turned 30K into over 100K within a couple of months. And going down this whole fucking crypto robotics rabbit hole has been life-changing. Honestly, I've realized there's such a big opportunity here. And today I just want to go through with you the story of how I came across all this and where I think it's going and the 5 best crypto projects to invest in. Okay, so if we go back to when I first sold my other shit projects and was looking for new ones to invest in, I didn't have any particular fucking category I wanted. I didn't have any narrative, anything like that. This is what I was looking for. Explain to me why your crypto project has real utility. Why do a bunch of different industries need your software? What's getting built on your blockchain? What is already built? Tell me how much money people are spending to use your product. I want transparency, how your annual revenue actually accrues value to the blockchain. How many tokens are being burned? Which of your partners are building product that requires your software? They need your technology to be able to do what they're gonna do. Why? They can't get it from anyone else but you. Explain to me why it's worth me running a node on your project instead of one of the other 250 million projects there are. So as you can see, I was a little bit frustrated back then, but you get the gist. It wasn't about a particular narrative or anything, but it just so happened that the only projects and founders and teams that were filling my needs and wants were these crypto robotics projects. And I remember for a while thinking like, why am I drawn to the crypto robotics projects? Like, what is it? What's going on? And I had this moment of realization that the reason I keep finding the highest level, smartest, hardest working teams and projects and why they're in the crypto robotics space is probably because this is where the biggest opportunity is. The reason you keep finding smart as fuck teams in the crypto robotics space is because this is where the biggest opportunity is for fucking massive wealth creation and to have the biggest impact on the world. Alrighty, so we're gonna go from my biggest investment to my smallest investment. So first up, we have the Auki network, who are building the real world web. So if you think of the World Wide Web for the internet, Auki are building the real world web. So they're making the physical world searchable and browsable. And what that means is venues can set up these things called domains, which are like a website for the real world. And then devices, glasses, robots can all browse the physical space. They can understand it. And they've already built multiple applications on top of this software, including retail applications called Cactus, which they're already making millions and millions in ARR. And they have a pipeline for over 150 million, right? They're in manufacturing, they're in digital art, they can branch to security. They can basically become the world's biggest distributor of robots because robots will need their software to be able to understand physical spaces. Now, the biggest advantage they've got is that they are a decentralized VPS, which means their software can target industries that don't want to give up their data. So Auki have a big leg up when it comes to any form of retail, manufacturing, places that don't want to give up their physical data. Auki can just go boom and slot in nicely. Their founder Nils is an absolute fucking savage and he's the king of memes, right? His mission is intoxicating, which is why I'm here talking about it today, all right? I really believe in his mission from a spiritual sense, from a motivational sense. He really wants the best for the world, and he is a fucking killer. Auki are also the king of tech demos. They've got more tech demos than the rest of CryptoRobotics combined. They're coming out with new nodes all the time. Their latest one, the reconstruction nodes, allows community run nodes to run full reconstruction services so that digital devices can understand the physical environment, right? They've got robots hooked up to the Auki network who can work autonomously in mass production. Okay, they are levels ahead of everyone else, and they're only at around 100 million market cap, boys. This has definitely 100x potential within the next year and 1000x potential going 5 years plus. Next up, we have peaq, who are building the computer for the machine economy. So using peaq's functionality, any builder can set up a network of machines that will have identity and compatibility across a bunch of other networks and make it 10 times easier for them to get started. The peaq token's only been around for a little bit over a year, but there's already over 60 DPINs using peaq's functionality. They were actually building a network for DPINs before DPIN was even a thing. These guys are way ahead of their time. So peaq have this absolute weapon of a CTO who has over 20 years experience in scaling Web 2 companies and networks, and he's used this parallelized architecture to scale their blockchain elastically. So when it needs a high amount of transactions, it can scale up and then come back down when it doesn't need them. It's called elastic scaling, and they showed a tech demo on Twitter where they bumped it up to 49,000 TPS, which is really fucking impressive. The next thing is, boys, they have a blockwork score of 40 out of 40, the best in the entire world. peaq have the most transparent blockchain there is. They are legit as fuck. They're also working with governments in the UAE. They're working with them to accelerate the adoption of machine economies throughout the UAE. They've also recently launched their new software development kit for robots specifically. So any builder out there who wants to build a business with robots, they can launch on peaq and easily have their robots on chain earning income fast. They've also recently just announced that they have a tokenized machine RWA autonomous farm. There's a fucking autonomous farm in Hong Kong that's been built using peaq's functionality where you can buy tokens in it and earn an APY of 20% from all the harvests that the farm does. I think it does 3 or 4 harvests per year. That is fucking cool. They are really building some cool shit. And on top of that, peaq just have top-notch content. They're always coming out with little documentaries. They have the best articles. Their whole marketing game is on another level and just legit as fuck. This is the sort of project and network that young builders look at and get excited and they go, all right, I want to build something on peaq. All right, that's what half of it is. You need people building on your network, and YG, I reckon they can be a network in the hundreds of billions in the next decade. And the next project is Natix. Natix is probably the project I'm the most excited about at the moment because I just had no idea how much of an impact they're going to have in the physical AI and robotics space. So Natix is founded and led by their CEO, Ali, who's a PhD. He's building the largest camera infrastructure of streets in the world, streets and roads. And the reason that that's so valuable is because as everything becomes autonomous, vehicles, streets, smart cities, they have all the street and road data. Okay, they have geospatial information that anyone building autonomous systems within the streets needs. All right, they have the most fucking valuable data. While everyone's got their fucking dicks hard about compute and just raw compute for training AI models on the internet and all that, this is way more valuable. This is where the money actually gets made. They have the real fucking data. And they've also got a product, an actual hardware product. It's like a camera box that you can put in your Tesla, and it's got 360 degrees views and just captures all this visual data, and you earn Natix tokens by using this. Which actually, boys, I think Natix is the biggest opportunity because it's one of the only ones in CryptoRobotics that hasn't really started pumping yet. You know, I know some of you guys watching are still holding on to your old shit tokens from 2021, and you thought about going in on Auki and peaq, but you just didn't quite take the leap. Natix is probably the one to go for because it hasn't pumped yet, and it's got seriously valuable data. It's got good tokenomics. It's the next one to go, I'm telling you now, boys. So for regular people who don't drive a Tesla, you basically just set the app up on your phone, start it recording as you're driving around. And if you do lots of driving, like if you do Uber or if you're a truck driver or something like that, it's a good little side hustle. It's a consistent flow of Natix tokens coming in, and it's because that data is fucking valuable, boys. If you think about Auki as being indoors, Natix is all your data for the streets. Natix only has a market cap of 30 million, and people just haven't woken up to it yet because initially they were using their data for mapping services, and which just didn't have quite as much value. But now that they're in the physical AI and robotics, like even think humanoid robots walking along the streets will need this data. Once people start to click onto that, I think this one can really fucking run, boys. This is a project that should be in the billions. Which now brings us to Geonet. Now, it only takes one podcast of listening to their founder and CEO, Mike, to realize this guy is fucking special. He's one of those guys you listen to, you're like, holy fuck. I think he got some of the brain that I missed out on. They have their RTK technology, which is where any one of us, we can run a Geonet satellite, and basically they use their technology to have centimeter accuracy outdoors, right? So GPS isn't very accurate, it's in the meters, but they can have centimeter accuracy data. That's fucking 1 centimeter, boys. That's 1 centimeter right there, that tiny fucking little thing. So anyone building any sort of infrastructure project outdoors, if you've got autonomous systems for agriculture, any moving parts that need precision, they need Geodnet's data. And it's a DePIN, so we the people can run these satellites and earn Geonet tokens by providing the data. It's a really cool system, and once again, boys, they need this fucking data. They need the geospatial data. I found out about Geonet because they are actually co-founders with Auki. peaq is a part of this as well. It's called Intercognitive Foundation. They're building a foundation where they're bringing together all of the best crypto robotics companies to try and standardize the whole thing. You know, peaq already worked on creating universal machine time where all systems can run on this one time. They're slowly building out all this standardization to make sure everything's compatible and it all works together. By using DePIN, they have been able to grow the network faster than any Web 2 company ever could. Like, you couldn't go around and set up this many satellites this quick because they use DePIN as the incentive for people to run their own satellites, and all of a sudden they've got the fucking biggest network in the world and they can just deliver fucking centimeter precision accuracy to anyone who needs it. They are growing fast, and still, once again, they're still a tiny market cap. Like, every day I look at Geodnet's market cap, I'm just like, why the fuck isn't it at least 50 times bigger? For some of these shit projects out there that are in the billions, you look at something like this and you're like, how is this thing not exploding yet? Which probably means it's a great opportunity. So I would seriously consider having a look at Geonet. And finally, we make it to XMAQUINA. It's good to end with XMAQUINA because these guys, they are the project for the people. Their founder, Mauricio, was an absolute OG in crypto. He was at XRP early days. He was at peaq for a couple years. And from what I've heard, he just fell in love with this passion of democratizing access to robotics and the machine industry. And everything that he's doing with this XMAQUINA project is just allowing regular people to get exposure to the robotics sector. Okay, they're investing in projects like Aptronic, like Figure. They're giving people a chance to get exposure to, you know, companies that we couldn't invest in usually. Like, there's no way we can go and invest in Figure AI. Like, that, you need tens and tens of millions to be able to invest in that. But through tokenization and creating this DAO, they actually give us a chance, the people, to pool all of our money together and invest into these projects that we otherwise wouldn't have a chance to. And the best thing is, so we had Auki, who's like indoor spatial computing. We got peaq, who's like the DeFi layer on top of machines. They're the network. Then we've got like Natix, which is all visual data for the streets. Then we've got Geonet, which is centimeter accuracy for outdoor environments to be built. The last thing is, boys, we haven't had any exposure to the actual physical robotics. This is where XMAQUINA comes in. They're giving us a chance to actually have exposure to the hardware side too. So that's why I think these 5 projects are a perfect blend, because you're getting a little slice in each different fucking part of the pie, boys, and we can have exposure to everything. So I really suggest you start fucking studying these project, boys, and study this space, because the crypto fucking robotics thing is exploding. It's going so quick. We're running out of time, boys. You need to get on this shit fast, all right? That's it for me today. Fucking go, boys. Let's go.
It's the time of the season when love runs high.